Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Invin. Today I'm going to be bringing you guys a guide for stone cutting in New World. Now obviously this video was pre-recorded during the beta phase of New World that ended just a few days ago. And I just wanted to bring you guys a quick update before I do jump into the actual guide here. Just saying that I'm going to be continuing to upload New World content as much as I possibly can. I've got a lot of gameplay, a lot of footage and a lot of other guides and things that I'm going to be putting out over the next few days. And on top of that I've got some ideas that I want to talk through with you guys. Some of kind of things that they could add to the game, types of things they could implement and how they could implement them into the game, kind of things we're expecting to see, things that I'd like to see, and I kind of want to get a conversation going between myself and you guys on these videos. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is talk about a different subject each few days and just upload these with some gameplay in the background to keep the hype going for New World. I'm still really excited about it. There's not much else I want to upload at the minute. I'm still really excited for New World, and on that basis I'm going to try and do as much of my content around that as physically possible. So if there's anything you would like to see me cover around New World, whether it's speculation, things you would like to see, if you'd like to see me discuss the system such as maybe pets, that's something I've got on my list coming up, whether they should be added, mounts, all that kind of good stuff, leave it in the comments below. Make sure you join the Discord server as we are very active on there. We're chatting things through about New World and about lots of other games as well, so please do make sure you go down below, join the server there. It'd be great to have you over there. And without further ado, we're going to jump into the stone cutting guide here, so enjoy the video and peace. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Invin. Today I am going to be bringing you guys a guide for the New World stone cutting table and how to actually efficiently and effectively use this and level it up. Obviously it's going to be included with the gem cutting here, and it's going to be a very crucial part of New World to enable you to get the best gems possible as quickly as possible, and these are going to give you a huge boost in a number of different ways. Now obviously along with gem crafting, like I mentioned in my Arcana guide, which if you haven't seen I will leave a link on screen to now, it does require you to have wisps and things going on as you get to higher tier level of gems. As you guys will see if I scroll down here on the menu and have a little look at some of these tier 100 such as a brilliant diamond, you actually need life essence. So this does require you to level up Arcana as well, or alternatively have a friend that has done it, or of course buy these materials from the marketplace. But this is something that you can level up very quickly with Arcana, and it also means that if you do level it up you're going to get a ton of good potions as well as being able to do your stone cutting self-sufficiently. So it's entirely up to you how you want to play it, but those are your options there. Now obviously stone cutting does have things like your stone blocks, and as you can see here currently I have stone blocks active for a mission, so this is really good because it means you can get a ton of XP by handing in these town quest board missions for these items, and stone bricks is something that you often get for town board quests as well, which makes it a really nice addition. Now as you can see here you've got all the flawed gems in the cut gemstones section. Now on the right hand side next to the name of each item, so we have here the green looking gem which is a cut flawed malachite, and on the right it tells you that you need a level 0 with a brick next to it, and if you hover your mouse over that it will tell you that stone cutting skill required is 0. This means you can make this entire section of gems from level 0. Now the way to acquire these gems is by mining iron veins, silver veins, or any rare material, so not the regular stone veins, but the iron, silver, gold, anything above that will give you a chance at getting gems, and obviously the higher tier of mineral that you are mining, the higher chance of a higher tier gem dropping. So what you're going to be able to find very early on in the game is that you're going to get silver and iron very quickly, and those are going to be your main source of these first level and first tier of gems. As you can see on this screen here, to be able to cut these gems you're going to need the actual flawed topaz or flawed gem, whichever one you're looking at, and for this particular one you also need 2 air motes, here you need 2 earth motes, here you need 2 water motes, etc. So what you're going to need really in the same place is your Arcana leveling station. If you are banking your items in different places depending on what you're going to level first, ideally you want to level Arcana and stone cutting in the same location, as these two are going to go hand in hand very nicely, as well as probably your dual crafting leveling place as well, because obviously this is a separate thing at the outfitting station, but it is going to be what you're going to use the gems for ultimately as well, which we'll get onto in just a moment. So the tier 3 does require wisps, which is the upgraded version of motes, which you need your Arcana levels for, or in order to buy, whichever you want to do. Then you need a tier 3 drop of the gems, so a flat out emerald will make this one here, and it's derived from ore veins as it says there, so again it's just a higher rarity drop chance. And then you need solvent as well, and these are derived from supply containers. As you can see I've got 410 weak solvent and 11 potent solvent, although you can just use weak solvent for the most part, and this is obviously only during the beta, which means I haven't played all that much in comparison to what you will be able to during the full release of the main game, meaning that solvent seems to be pretty abundant at the moment, so let's hope it stays this way going forward because it is very, very useful. So you would put that in there with the emerald and with the wisps, and you'll be able to make cut emeralds, and again, as you can see, that is then the tier 3 version of this. Then moving down here to common gem fusions. Now this is something you can do if you have, for example, 3 of the tier 2 regular version of the flawed onyx. You can use 3 of those with a life wisp here, for example, just for this one, and again some of the solvent, and that can make it into the tier 3 gem, which you could then go up here and have a look at cut onyx, and you'd then be able to make this, providing you have the wisps and the solvent as well. So that's another way you can kind of upgrade the gems that you have at a lower level to make them a higher level gem. Now another thing you can do here is material conversion, and these are coarse sandpaper and weak solvent. Now weak solvent is something if you don't have a lot of, you can actually convert it, and you can pick any of the other refining crafting materials. So for example here I have a ton of tannin, could click on that and you need a common material converter. In order to get this you need to go to your faction leader, and they will sell you that one on the 2nd rank of your faction. So for example for Covenant that is Templar, and it goes on for different Syndicate and different for Marauder, but you can go ahead and go into the 2nd tab down once you've unlocked that, and you are able to buy these, but they do cost quite a few faction points, so I would recommend just trying to find these things inside of these provision containers and supply containers. Another really important thing with Stonecutting is going to be the keys for the actual expeditions that are in the game. Now as you can see here we've got things like the Eternal Heart, which is one of the components you might need for a tuning orb down here, and as you can see the second one requires a energy core, and all of these can be crafted here for different motes. The energy core is an elemental and an Eternal Heart, so you would need to craft both of these, and as you can see basically it's just a ton of motes. So if you are looking to get into motes and Arcana, it's going to be an exceptionally good one to level alongside this, like I mentioned in that guide there. So kind of go hand in hand. If you wanted to do Stonecutting, you might as well do Arcana too, because you're going to be gathering very, very similar materials for both of these. Obviously, you can downgrade materials like you can in any other workstation as well, so you are able to turn stone bricks back into stone blocks, and you get 2 for every 1, and this is going to be using the solvent again, and so on. You can do this going up. It's going to require slightly more solvent, and obviously the higher tier material in order to do it. You can then get corrupted refinement as well, which is the corrupted stuff you get from clearing a major corruption breach, or something similar to that, so not the smaller breaches, the big ones. These drop the chests which offer you 4 items, and often you will get corrupted silver, corrupted fragments, or occasionally as well corrupted shards. Now these can be turned into obviously different parts here, so your corrupted silver can be crafted into fragments, and then your fragments can be crafted into shards, and these are again used in the tuning orbs. As you can see here, corrupted silver for the first one. For the protectors one here, you need corrupted shards. Again, in the tuning orbs you will see star metal chisel, for example, and these again can be bought from your respective faction leader, and they will offer you the chance to buy this for a bit of gold and some faction standing points. It's up to you if you want to spend your money and your faction ranking on this, but they cannot be bought from the market because they are bound on pickup. So if you are wanting to craft these tuning orbs, you're going to have to do it through your faction leader providing that material for you there. So for some of the items like the glowing swamp moss here, these can be kind of like tier 4 epic level items, and they can be quite confusing as to where to find them. But if you hover over this item, it tells you that it is a glowing piece of swamp moss that used to craft a protector's tuning orb, and can be found in the creatures around the eternal pool in Reek Water. So essentially you're going to have to kill creatures in Reek Water around the eternal pool, and they have a chance of dropping this. And again, things like the lodestone brick is refined at the tier 4 stonecutter, so you could go up here and have a look at what is required to craft that. This one again is a crafted resource, it tells you, and then obviously you can see certain things. If we go to like the Amrine one, corrupted silver, it will tell you that you get them from corrupted fragment portals used to craft them there, from the faction vendor on that one, Stonecutting tier 2, etc, etc. So it will tell you where to get things or where they are derived from, and if it says derived from, that means where you can pick it up from on each item. So as you're going along, you'll see there's several different ones that you can go ahead and do, and this is where you're going to be able to get into all of your expeditions through getting these tuning orbs here too. Now as you can see as well, as you go on, you're going to be able to craft tier 4 gems, which are going to be even more beneficial, and these are derived from ore veins, so you will need to be able to get the rare drops from these. Again, another really good place to get these is going back up and doing some of the dungeon runs, or the expeditions I should say, and actually cracking out a few of these runs, mining the resources within them if you can, and obviously just completing them and getting the chests and the drops, because there is a big high chance to get these high level tier gems. Even from the first Amrine excavation you can get tier 4 and 5 gem drops, so it's definitely worth saving those up or selling them, or indeed giving them to your company's gem crafter. So you can go ahead and craft these, and as you can see, once you get up to tier 4, they're going to be doing a lot more for you. It doesn't actually tell us exactly what they do on here, but they are going to be a lot more beneficial for you in terms of giving you better stats. So if we have a look at a cut one, we can see that it gives you 40% of converted damage as opposed to 30 or 20% on the lower tiers. And obviously your top tier, tier 5, gives you 50%. So if it's the damage conversion, you're going to be having, it's not 50% more damage, it's 50% of your current damage converted to, and for in this instance, it's Arcane. If we have a look at something like the Ruby, we're going to be looking here at 40% of damage converted to fire, etc. Amber is going to be nature. And then if we have a look at something like the Moonstone, this has got plus 20% damage when player health is below 30%. Again, this is up from 15 and 10%. And these are really, really good gems because they're going to give you just more percentages and better buffs and perks the higher level you are able to cut these. So obviously when you can get yourself down here to obviously these higher level cores and hearts, which are going to be for the highest level expedition tuning orbs. And as you can see, when you get to these tier 5 cut pristine amethyst, this gives you a 50% of your damage is converted into void, or it gives you a plus 6% void damage absorption, which is very, very big and will really, really help you in those late game expeditions, PvP, and obviously main story quests, as well as just roaming the world. These things are going to be exceptionally useful, so you're definitely going to want to go ahead and use those. Runestone, again, is a tier 5 stone cutter, and it's used to craft those high-end tuning orbs. And that is the last thing that I do want to mention here, is it is going to tell you which tier stone cutter is required in order to do these. So most of these are at tier 2 or 3, but if you head right down to these guys at the bottom here, you'll see that this right here is required to be refined a tier 5 stone cutter, which currently for me on the beta is in Everfall, so we can go ahead and craft these here if I had the required level, which I currently don't. You can see I'm on 71 and this is level 200, so a little ways off that one, but you can see that you will need a level 5, so you'd have to go somewhere that has a tier 5 stone cutter in order to craft these highest level ones. It also tells you at the bottom here, for anyone wondering, it tells you the tax that it's going to cost you to craft these items and the stone cutting experience it will give you. So if you are trying to power level stone cutting, one thing you can do is go back up here, have a look on the gems. All of these gems will give you 129, they all give the same amount of XP, but you can see that each stone block, which is 4 stones, gives you 36. If you spam craft a lot of these, if you're doing kind of 4 or 5 of these at a time, which is going to take you around 16 to 20 stone, it's going to be a very similar to one of these gems, but you are going to be able to get stone a ton easier than you can get these other rare gem drops, so it might be easier to just spam out these levels in order to get the higher level gems right off the bat, particularly up to levels 50 or 75 plus, because then you can do stone brick once you get to 50, and that gives you actually 180 per, so it can be quite good for getting a decent amount of XP. So hopefully this guide has helped you guys out knowing what to do with stone cutting in New World. If you have got any questions, please do drop them in the comments below. Be sure to answer them to the best of my ability. Other than that, if you have enjoyed today's video and found it useful and informative, please leave me a like on the video down below. And if you are new to the channel and you're enjoying New World content and you would like to see more, then please do drop a subscribe. We are pushing for 3k subs, so your support on that would be much, much appreciated. Other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching. Take care and peace.